Are we on?
Questions.
Pardon me?
Trick questions.
Trick questions, yeah. Good afternoon. We're doing a segment on marriages in America today, and we'd like some of your opinions. Are you married?
Not currently, no.
So you have been married?
No. I've never been married.
So you're single?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Not really, but
Well, all right, explain it to me.
this is
All right.
this is my girlfriend.
So you're in a relationship?
Yes, I'm in a relationship, but
Okay,
I'm not
and
married.
Are you cohabitating?
Do we live together? No, we don't.
No. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Have you ever been married?
No.
Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
What do you think of the state of marriage in America today?
It's lost its value. I think that it's easy. Getting divorced is just as common as breaking up in a regular relationship, and it's that easy. So.
How do you think marriage affects children or divorce affects children?
I think it's horrendous. I mean, children are meant to be brought up with a mother and a father, or two fathers or two mothers, whatever suits someone. And when that's taken from them, I think they kind of lose a little bit of a family value there, because everyone, when you think of a family, you think of a dad, a mom, brother, sister, and when there's two dads, two moms, whether who's with who and whatnot, it kind of loses its value. They think that everyone's family, and there's really just one family, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have a good family life? Were your parents married?
Actually, my parents just got divorced, so I would say no.
How many children are in your family?
5.
And what's the youngest? Are there still young children?
Yep, I have a brother that is 15, so he's a freshman in high school. And then I have a sister who's 18, and she's a senior in high school.
Are you still living at home with your family?
I'm living with my mom, but not my dad.
Do you miss your dad?
Yeah, I miss my dad.
Dr. Ross?
Well, let me just ask you, do you think that your mom and dad might have been able to work out their differences?
I don't think they would have been able to work out their differences.
Do you think it's possible to heal people who have a challenge in their relationship?
I think to an extent, but it takes a while.
Trust.
Trust. And once trust has been broken multiple times, it's kind of and if one of them isn't willing to work as hard as the other, then it's just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, 80% of marriages occur in houses of worship, either synagogues or temples or churches or whatever. So do you think that houses of worship have any responsibility to people who are thinking of getting married or who are already married?
Like a church, is that what you're saying?
A church or a synagogue, a mosque?
Yeah, but I think both partners have to be involved to the same extent, have to believe in it just as much as the other one does. And if one of them goes to church or synagogue and the other one doesn't, then it's harder for it to work out, I believe.
But they say I do inside a house of worship.
For the most part, yeah, for the most part.
It's more common getting married in an exotic place these days or not. That's the same thing. I have a buddy that actually just got married. He didn't even have a ceremony. He just went to City Hall and got married because he doesn't think it matters that much, the big celebration, because if it's a promise to someone else, what does anyone else have any say in it? Anyways, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't be an excuse for anyone else to party,
Does it matter to all of our nation whether people stay married and keep their promises when they say I do or not? Is it totally irrelevant, would you say?
Well, I think it's kind of creating sort of an image for our nation. I think that our nation, it's more common to see someone who's divorced or someone who gets married. I don't know what the fact is, but I'm pretty sure it's I think I read it was 55 or 60% of all marriages end up in divorce. And I know it wasn't like that a long time ago.
It's too easy for people to get divorced. So I think for our nation, people have no problem with other people getting divorced. It takes less than a year, 6 months. It shouldn't be that way. I feel like people that have been together for a while.
55% of children in America are growing up in broken homes. Do you think that's good for children?
No, I don't think that's good for children. It causes them to, I think, act out at school, just as their own. But I think for parents, they think that is better for them to stay together than for the kids than to get divorced, which in the end it's really hurting their children more than it's hurting them.
So do you think that as a result of growing up in a broken home that children are experiencing some difficulties? And tell us a little bit about some of the difficulties that you know that kids in broken homes are having.
Well, okay, parents get divorced, father leaves the family, there's a son growing up without a father. He doesn't know who to model his life after. He can model his life after his big brother. His big brother could be in a gang. And why? Because he never had a father to model his life after. He doesn't have a real role model to set his life after, to live in someone's shadow. And it's appropriate to live in your father's shadow, right? You should want to grow up to be as great as the man that you know. Same with your mother. If you're a girl, you should want to grow up and be exactly like your mom. Why? Well, your parents always say that they want you to grow up and be better than them. And why do you want to grow up and be like them? Because they raised you. They're doing something right. And if you don't have a father or a mother, it kind of gives someone a little bit of a loss at who to look up to. So
what about girls? Do they need to have a father in the household?
Yeah, I think that they should, or they would want to have a father in their household. It's how do you, or like they watching their parents like grow up together, like being like married, they watch like their relationship, and if like how do you expect them to date or want to date if they don't have a father or have watched that for like growing up?
As young adults that seem to have a concern for the state of marriage and say how it affects children, would you like to, or could you envision yourself at some point being involved in a program that's designed to strengthen marriages to help our society?
I mean, possibly. That's not really my style, but I kind of just like to worry about my own problems, and I mean, I care about other people and whatnot, but I can't really force. I'm not one to force stuff on other people, so I'm sure she would though. But
yeah, I probably would. I would definitely probably be involved in some sort of program like that.
That's good.
So let's just say you two I can tell that you guys like each other a lot.
All
right.
I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch.
So let's just say by some fantasy, you guys decided that, you know what, we really do like each other a lot, and maybe we ought to make our lives together and get married.
Yeah.
Would you guys go out and find a program to help prepare you for marriage? You think that'd make a difference, or you don't really want that kind of intrusion in your lives?
I think
Honestly, I guess I've never really like thought about that kind of stuff, like to be involved in a program. Like, I don't know if it's something that like you have to be taught.
Yeah, I think that if you're ready to be married, you should be ready for all the complications and all the arguments and all the fights that come with it. And if you truly love someone, if you're truly supposed to be together, you'll be able to work through stuff without a program.
So you don't think people who are wanting to get married need any training or education, that it's automatic in their biology and genetics, that anything they need to know to figure it out and stay together would be there?
I didn't say that. I think that yes, it's in human biology that if you're in love with someone, it's natural to want to figure stuff out, and you'll be able to work through stuff. Marriage is scary. You're with someone for the rest of your life. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but you know what? You're committing yourself to one person for the rest of your life. I think you should be prepared to work through everything instead of just giving up. What is giving up? Is divorce. I mean, some situations you can't help. However, I think that if you're prepared to commit yourself to someone for the rest of your life, you should be ready to work through every single problem that brings itself up.
Well, suppose you had a questionnaire for you and for your prospective bride, and each of you took that to get all of the facts out about each of you as a person, and then you had a way of putting all of that information together, all right, and come out with a whole bunch of, sort of like, you go to a doctor and you get blood tests done and you get a metabolic profile and they do your vital signs, your blood pressure, your heart rate, they do all of that stuff. So that tells the doctor whether you're sick or not, right? So do you think that they could do something like that would tell you whether or not you two have the right stuff to get married? Or you don't think that information makes a difference?
To be honest, I don't think it's anyone's business to pass judgment on someone else's relationship. So I don't think that if you filled out a question, because there's so many different factors that go into a relationship, that go into a marriage. I don't think it's anyone's business but your own, how you conduct your marriage and how you conduct it, the way that you guys figure things out. You know, I don't think that one piece of paper with 1,000 different questions could ever do the same justice as me talking to her about something. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is that people should be able to figure it out naturally.
You can't write emotions down on paper.
Well, we're not talking about emotions, we're talking about background. So, for example, if you're a Jewish guy and you grew up in an Orthodox family and you had 10 brothers and sisters, and she's a Catholic girl and she was an only child, her life experience is different than yours. So do you think that might make a difference? And knowing how that difference might affect how you communicate, would that help you have more success in your relationship?
I honestly, I don't. But
you two make a beautiful couple.
They do.
Dr. Ross, if you'll take that microphone away for a minute, look in the camera and smile, both of you. Smile. Big smile. Big smile. Look at you. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. I want to give you my business